My wife called our marriage a mistake and left. Now her life's in ruins. She wants back. I said no. My name's Mike, and I'm 34. If my life were a reality show, this part would have been the shocking twist that makes everyone rewind to see if they missed something. It all started on a random Tuesday morning. I was sitting at the table, chewing on burnt toast and sipping instant coffee that tasted like regret. Katie, my wife of 7 years, walks in looking all serious. Now, when your spouse has that we need to talk face, you expect something like, we need to repaint the bathroom, or maybe, I maxed out the credit card. What you don't expect is her dropping a nuke on your entire existence. She stood there, arms crossed, and hit me with, marrying you was the biggest mistake of my life. I froze, like physically couldn't move. Half a piece of toast was stuck to the roof of my mouth while my brain tried to process what the hell just happened. What? That was all I could manage. Not why, or since when? Just one dumb deer in the headlights. What? Katie shrugs. She actually shrugs, like this isn't the emotional equivalent of stabbing someone and then asking them to pass the ketchup. I don't think I've ever been happy with you, she added, just to twist the knife. So there I was, sitting in my kitchen, my breakfast ruined, my ego shattered, and my entire marriage declared a colossal failure. All before 9 a.m. No warm-up, no gentle lead-in. Just a verbal grenade lobbed into my lap. By the end of that week, she was gone. Packed up her designer bags, emptied half the closet, and walked out like she was heading off to a yoga retreat. She even left this passive-aggressive post-it on the fridge. Keep the thermostat at 68. You're not made of money. As if I was really going to prioritize the electric bill while my life was going up in flames. Oh, and she took the dog. My dog. Cooper. A scruffy little rescue I had before we even met. She used to call him that shedding monster and complain every time he got hair on her couch pillows. But suddenly, in her grand escape, Cooper was part of her plan. Who takes the dog? Seriously. That's a villain move right there. The worst part was the silence. For days I just sat there, staring at the empty space where her stuff used to be. The closet looked like it had been looted. The bathroom counter was cleared of all her overpriced skincare bottles, and even the wine rack was suspiciously empty. At work, people asked what happened, and I'd just mumble something vague like, oh, things just didn't work out. Total lie. The truth was, I had no clue what the hell went wrong. One day, we were a team, or so I thought, and the next, she was treating me like I was some regrettable impulse buy off the clearance rack. Then came the kicker. A week later, I found out she wasn't just leaving me. She was upgrading. Katie was already dating some guy named Ryan. And when I say guy, I mean the human embodiment of a corporate PowerPoint presentation. Ryan wore cufflinks to brunch. He posted daily motivational quotes like, "Hustle is the grindstone of success." And he had one of those faces that just screams, "I sell insurance and feel superior about it." It was like she'd been planning her new life all along. While I was sitting there trying to figure out what went wrong, she was out posting selfies with Ryan in matching Patagonia jackets, sipping on pumpkin spice lattes, and hashtagging their adventures with #new beginnings. I mean, seriously? New beginnings? Was I a cancelled TV show? I tried to keep it together. Work, gym, beers with the guys, it all blurred into this monotonous routine. At night, I'd scroll through my phone, hate watching her life. There she was, smiling like she'd won the lottery, while I was over here debating if I even wanted to bother folding laundry anymore. Then one night, I caved. I had a few too many beers and sent her a text. Nothing crazy, just a simple, "Hope you're happy now." Her response? Nothing. Radio silence. And that's when it hit me. She didn't care. Not even a little. I was just a chapter she'd closed while I was stuck rereading the same sentence over and over, trying to make sense of it. But karma, as they say, has a sense of humor. A couple of months later, Katie's perfect little bubble burst. Ryan dumped her. Apparently, Mr. Motivational Quotes was also Mr. Two-Timing. Turns out, he'd been seeing some wannabe influencer on the side. Katie went from #new beginnings to cryptic posts about healing and learning to love yourself. Classic. And yeah, I laughed. Don't judge me. Sometimes life throws you a little vindication, and you take it. What I didn't expect was for her to show up at my door one night. No call, no text, just Katie, standing there with puffy eyes and a sweatshirt I swear she stole from me. "Can we talk?" she said, her voice barely above a whisper. And that's when things got really interesting. The first few months post-divorce were hell. I spent my nights scrolling through Instagram, hate watching Katie's new life. There she was, smiling with Ryan in matching Patagonia jackets, drinking overpriced lattes, and tagging each other in cringy captions like, "Found my forever." It was like she'd rewritten our entire history, erasing me from the narrative. Meanwhile, my life was falling apart. My performance at work tanked, and my boss started dropping not-so-subtle hints about re-evaluating my commitment. My friends, bless them, tried to cheer me up with happy hours and pep talks, but I was stuck in this loop of self-pity and resentment. One day, I got drunk and sent Katie a text. Nothing crazy, just a short, "Hope you're happy now." Her response? Radio silence. That's when it hit me. She didn't care. I was a chapter she'd closed and forgotten, while I was still stuck rereading the same damn page. But then, out of nowhere, karma showed up and slapped her in the face. Ryan dumped her. Apparently, he'd been two-timing her with some influencer wannabe. Katie's perfect little bubble burst, and suddenly, she wasn't posting cute couple pics anymore. Instead, it was cryptic quotes about heartbreak and healing journeys. Honestly, I laughed. Not my proudest moment, but can you blame me? A few weeks later, Katie showed up at my door. I hadn't seen her since the divorce papers were signed, and let me tell you, she looked rough. No makeup, messy hair, and wearing a sweatshirt that I swear used to be mine. The confidence she oozed when she walked out of my life was gone. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice shaky. I wanted to slam the door in her face, but curiosity got the better of me. So, I let her in. She sat on my couch, staring at her hands, while I awkwardly stood by the door. Finally, she started talking. She told me how everything had fallen apart, how Ryan had cheated, how she'd lost her job because she wasn't in the right headspace, and how her so-called friends had ghosted her when she needed them the most. "I was wrong, Mike," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I should have never left you. I see that now." I should have felt vindicated, but instead I just felt angry. She threw me away like garbage, and now that her life was in shambles, she wanted me to pick up the pieces. "No, thanks. I don't think this is a good idea," I said, keeping my voice as calm as I could. Katie looked at me like I'd slapped her. Katie didn't leave immediately. She sat there pleading her case, trying to convince me that we could start fresh. But I wasn't the same guy she walked out on. Months of therapy, long runs, and brutally honest self-reflection had changed me. I'd rebuilt my life without her, and I wasn't about to let her tear it down again. "I'm sorry, Katie," I said, standing firm. "But you made your choice, and I made mine." Her face crumpled. "Mike, please. I've realized how much I need you." "That's the problem," I shot back. "You only need me when your life's a mess, but I'm not your safety net anymore." She stormed out, slamming the door behind her. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt free. Sure, there was a twinge of sadness, but it was outweighed by this overwhelming sense of clarity. Katie wasn't my responsibility anymore. Later that night, I sat on the couch with a beer, scrolling through old photos of us. I didn't feel anger or regret, just a strange kind of peace. I'd survived the worst she could throw at me, and I came out stronger. Sometimes, life forces you to burn bridges so you can build something better, and I was finally ready to do just that.